Hey, what is going on, Capricorns? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your February read. It's the monthly read. It is from now to the end of February. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. Going to be using the Wild Reflections Tarot. And with all that being said, let's get it. Yours. What message do we have for Capricorns for February 2025? Yeah, for Capricorns. All right, Capricorns. So the first thing I see is I feel like this energy around you. This is someone I feel like you already know. You know, I feel like this is someone you've had a connection with before. Now, I feel like this person, there was some hot and cold energy with this person. You know what I mean? I feel like there was definitely a strong connection, but I feel like you never really got what you expected from them. You know, it always felt like they were kind of just holding back. You know, there's already a part of them like you expected more, but you never really got it. And I feel like this person went cold on you. I mean, I feel like there was an obvious distance. You know, I feel like this person got defensive, very defensive energy. And I feel like, I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, you knew they had more to give, and they just weren't giving you, and that's can be a huge issue. And I feel like it was a huge issue. I feel like they had the potential. You knew it, but they weren't giving it to you. They weren't giving you what you needed or what you expected. They just weren't pulling their weight. Now with this person, I feel like that defensive energy, and I feel like they thought they could do it without giving up control. They thought they could, do it. They felt like they didn't need anyone. They felt like they were giving up some sort of control, and they didn't want to do that. I mean, it's very immature emotionally. Feeling like they had to give you something that they didn't want to give you. I mean, I feel like the self-imposed prison. I mean, I feel like they did a lot of work trying to convince themselves that there was something else going on here. Like like not only are they giving up control, but like they had to give it up to you. They had to give you control. I mean, there's a lot of overthinking going on here. I mean, a lot of overthinking. I mean, we have the Four of Swords. It's that overthinking energy. I mean, I feel like this person they had real feelings for you, really strong feelings for you. And they used that as a negative rather than a positive. Like they felt like you needed them to give you something that they weren't willing to give up, but I don't feel like that's what you were asking at all. I mean, they were their own worst enemy here is what I'm seeing. Like even though they wanted this, even though they truly wanted this, it's like they were it's like swimming against the current. Eventually you're going to tire yourself out and there's no real reason. I mean, they didn't see what they had right in front of them. They obviously didn't see it, or they wouldn't have acted the way they did. With that Two of Swords, they just didn't see what they had. They didn't see what was right in front of them. I don't feel like you were asking too much. I kind of get the feeling that that's what they felt like you were asking something that they weren't willing to give. And they did a lot of work, a whole lot of work, fighting against this rather than, giving into it. Now, moving forward, what I see is I feel like this person, for lack of better wording for this, I feel like this person, they know they messed up. Honestly, I mean, there's some internal struggle within this person during the fact as well. So I feel like they knew they were messing up. It's like one of those things where, when you're doing something stupid and you're doing something stupid, but you continue to do the stupid thing. It's exactly the energy I feel like this person, even though they knew, they felt it in that moment that they were messing something up here. That they knew their issue with overthinking this. They continued on that path. And I feel like this person regrets it. And I feel like there's we have the Hermit, so I feel like this person's spending a lot of time in their head trying to figure out where they went wrong and how to make it right. They thought they could do it without you. They thought they could do it on their own, but they can't. I don't feel like they even really want to. They had something special and they threw it away. And I mean, to be honest, I feel like it's a bit of a pride, but it's also a lot of overthinking. I feel like this person really looked a little too deeply into this situation and saw something that wasn't really there. They manufactured an excuse. What I see moving forward is, I feel like this person's coming back. And I feel like this person is finally ready to acknowledge what was right in front of them the whole time. They're finally ready to work at this. They're finally ready to give to this. They're looking for that balance. They were happy with you. They were happy, and they saw the potential. They knew this was something great, and they screwed it up. And it couldn't be any more plain and simple than that. I mean, they knew they screwed it up. I feel like this person has trust issues, and I feel like that was one of the biggest downfalls here is this person's trust issues. They had a hard time trusting someone that wasn't them. But I feel like this person is finally, they learned their lesson. It was a hard lesson that they had to learn, but they learned it. And I feel like they're finally ready to let that go. They want to move forward. And it's that establishment of trust isn't going to be easy, but they're willing to put in the work. They want to put in the work. I mean, this person, I see this person showing up. I see this person wanting a fresh start. And I feel like them communicating that with you, communicating that they were wrong. I feel like it's going to be a huge step for this person, admitting first that they're wrong, and then putting in the work to make it right. I see this person, it's a very nurturing energy, like I said, showing up, putting in the work, being honest about it. I feel like this person has come a long way from where they were to where they're at. They sometimes we have to get hit with the hard truth, and the hard truth was, this person possibly screwing up one of the best things that they ever had. And I feel like they're going to make you very aware that they know that. They were happy and they got scared. I feel like at the end of the day that they can say, and they're probably not going to admit that it was scared, but that's what I see. I see someone that was scared that they were right, that this was right. Scared to admit it. Sometimes the hardest thing to admit is that we want something, especially from someone else. We can spend all this time acting like we don't need anybody. We have everything we want. Anything we want, we can get ourselves. And then we find something that proves to be no longer true. And it's a hard thing to admit for some people. I feel like this person may have some trust issues and some control issues. And the control issues are so... they can be one of the hardest things. Because sometimes people will ruin a relationship just so they don't have to give up control. It allows them the false idea that they're in some kind of control, but yet they don't realize how bad they screwed something up. But I feel like this person's realized it, and they're hoping it's not too late. Now, like I said in the beginning, I feel like you knew there was something, you could have something special here. You knew there was something more that you could get from this person. They had more to offer, they just weren't. And in that, I feel like this distance that was caused between the two of you, even though there was this distance, even though this person, like that hot and cold energy, even though they tried to push you away, I feel like you always knew they'd be back. You knew they'd be back. And you weren't wrong. The Three of Wands, that's exactly what I see here. And I see you getting, I know it doesn't feel like a victory now, but I do feel like it will be a victory. With that Six of Wands, I do see this being very successful. I do see you getting everything you want with that Ten of Pentacles. And I do see you finding balance in the situation. I do see you getting what you expected. What you thought you would get, you're going to get. It just took a detour. But we have the Sun card. I see a lot of happiness, and follow that with emotional fulfillment. Not only happiness and having that partner truly put in the work, having them develop into someone that can admit that when they're wrong. This person truly cares about you, and I feel like you truly care about them. I feel like there was some bugs that we had to work out here, but I feel like I do feel like that is behind us. Because like I said, I see a lot of happiness. I see, not only happiness and getting what you want, but we got that emotional fulfillment as well. Like this wasn't just a partnership, this was a relationship. I feel like I see this a lot sometimes with two very strong people. Sometimes it's hard for one or both to admit they need someone else or that they want someone else. And I feel like that's exactly what it was with this person. They just had a hard time admitting it. But I see them admitting it now. Because it's better than the alternative. The alternative is losing you forever. And I feel like that's not something this person is willing to do. Pride is a hard thing to break. But if anything can, love can. You know, and like I said, I mean, this person, I feel like they truly care about you. I mean, it shows they're putting you above themselves right now, coming back heart in hand. You know, hoping that it's not too late. I mean, this person wants to start, you know, not necessarily start fresh, but I feel like they need and want that second chance. And like I said, their biggest fear now isn't losing control, isn't getting hurt, it isn't any of those things anymore. Their biggest fear now is losing you. Their biggest fear is that they've already lost you. Just like you saw their potential, they saw yours. With this person, we have Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. We have Aquarius and Libra. I mean, we have some Cancer, some Scorpio, some Sagittarius, possibly some Aries. I am getting an Aries vibe. One thing you'll never... I was actually laughing about this earlier is not to throw anybody under the bus, but someone close to me is an Aries, and they had made a mistake, and they've been recently trying to be really nice to me, but all I really need from them or wanted from them was an apology. And I was laughing earlier because I was talking to Rose, and I said, you know, that's probably one thing you're not going to get is an apology from an Aries. You know, it's but this person is doing everything but apologizing, like, you know, offering me things, offering to do things for me, and you know, being really nice. But yeah, not saying all Aries are like that, but I mean, there's a few Aries I know that they'd rather just do something nice for you or suck up to you rather than just say the words that need to be said. Pride is a hard thing for some people, you know, but I feel like when you're truly found your person, you know, if all you have to do is swallow your pride and be open, it seems like a small price to pay, you know? Some people have the hardest time just admitting what they already know. They already know. It's like, but it's like if they put it out in the real world, it makes them look weak or feel weak. You know, some people don't like to be vulnerable, but I feel like you can't really have a true connection with someone else, especially your person, if you're not willing to be vulnerable. If you can't be vulnerable with the person that loves you and that you love, I mean, that's something I think that you really got to look into. You know, especially with Capricorns are very good at spotting, you know, potential. Actually, what's funny is there was, I'm a big sports fan, and two of my favorite sports personalities. They're you know, they're these two big scouts from a particular team. I'm not gonna put it out there who it is, but they find needles in a haystack. I mean, we've had some really good draft picks, and these two guys that run the department, they're Capricorns. And I remember when I found out, I looked and I seen one was a Capricorn, and I said, okay, I'm gonna look at the other one, and the other one is Capricorn as well. So that just proves my point. They're very good at seeing potential, sometimes even potential nobody else can see. You know, so like I said, you were right. You saw what you saw. You weren't wrong. I just feel like sometimes it's harder to convince the person that you see it in. You know, sometimes they got to see it on their own. Most times they got to see it on their own. Some people are easier convinced. Anyway, be good. Take care. Stay safe.